Have you ever showed up to work on a Monday morning and have someone say to you, sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays?
No. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked. You say something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this episode of Trees in Space, Jason and I watched the 1999 comedy Office Space. And man, this movie it hits hard. It hits hard to home, right?
It really does because it's one of my. I will never say it's the greatest movie ever, but it's one of my personal favorites.
Mm.
And I would like to think that anyone that's worked in an office for any, amount of time will appreciate this movie.
I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Oh, I definitely agree. I watched this for the first time at random. My mom bought some DVDs and it was in one of those DVDs and we watched it.
Oh,
And this was as like in high school and I loved it then.
oh, really?
Yeah, I just thought it was the funniest fucking thing. And then I didn't watch it until I started working back into an office.
Right.
And then I was like, "Oh my god, this is so true." Um, but for those of you who are wondering, what the hell are they talking about? Office space, they're talking about office work. Well, this movie features Peter Gibbons, who undergoes hypnosis to feel better about himself. Was that the plan?
Yeah, because he was saying that every day is his worst day, and the guy asked him like, "So what's day?" That's my worst day. So he's like,
Yeah.
"God, that's fucked up," or whatever.
Working. Every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
What about today? Is today the worst day of your life?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up.
So the dude ends up putting him in hypnosis and he keels over and dies from a heart attack,
The
leaving
hypnotist does, not
yes,
Peter.
right. So that's leaving Peter permanently stuck in the sense of hypnosis. Well, he hates his job and this essentially made him not care. And it's his story about not caring. That's all this movie is really about, is this man's journey to find happiness in not giving a fuck.
It's his psychological equivalent of smoking dope or anything of that sort. When you certain whatever kind of thing you do that just makes you not care about anything,
Yeah.
like you hear your car getting wrecked outside, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm good. I'm not bothered. He's not bothered by anything. And the I knew this movie. I saw bits and pieces of it, and then when I got to work in an office with some guy named Snowis or Simmons or
Oh,
something, and someone
yep.
named Paré, I think. That was their names. But it wasn't him. It was Simmons and someone else. Who might have been a guy named Hanks. Well, we discussed it a little bit, and I knew enough of it to have some of that conversation. And then I told Beck about it, watching it, and she goes, she loves the movie because she loved Jennifer Aniston.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I was like maybe there, 2 weeks, and then I watched that movie. So that's when I first actually watched it.
You know, I've watched this movie, let's conservatively say 50 times.
Really?
That's yeah. Uh I forget every time Jennifer Aniston's in this movie.
Because she's not a big part. It's like that's not the
No,
big. To me, it's not the big part of the movie.
she's she doesn't matter.
No, I mean she matters a little because I mean you're right. Okay, she doesn't matter because nothing matters to him. Now,
Well, even for the plot of the story though.
right? She don't
Like
need to be there.
the no, he doesn't have to find somebody to be with. He could still cause the scheme with the Superman 3 scheme with
Mm-hmm.
his buds that get fired. Spoilers. So that still could have happened. And the whole Lumberg fucked her part, yeah, you lose a joke.
Good idea for you to sleep with Lumberg.
What? What are you... Oh, right, lumber.
But
It was a joke, but I think they needed to have something that he would care about somewhat. So, and I guess now that we think about it, it wasn't like he didn't care about nothing. He just wasn't stressing over stuff. You know,
Yeah.
It's like he still wanted things. He still had to drive. He just didn't have a drive to, you know, be miserable. I guess that's what it was. I'm not exactly sure because he did care about going to a pound you in the ass prison.
Well, it was funny in his dream. He's just like, Peter Gibbons, you're not a very good person.
Yeah.
And these other two are sentenced to what, 4 years in federal pound me in the ass
That's
prison?
prison, yes.
And he gets off light. He doesn't show up to work. He gets promoted.
Yes, he gets promoted, which I thought was great. He goes in there because they're doing cutbacks, and Lindbergh is the asshole guy. You've seen memes of this man.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here around 9, that would be great. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All over your Facebook and everything else.
Yeah, holding his coffee mug with his off-collar
suspenders.
shirt and collar.
Yep, and he's gonna go, yeah. You've said it yourself. If you've not seen the movie, you know this.
We're gonna have to have you come in on Saturday. Hi, Bill here. Hi, Bill here. It's 12 o'clock. I stepped away from my desk. Thought you might have beep.
It goes right back into it because he does not care, but he does want to be wealthy, so he does come up with this plan from Superman 3 to take a fraction of a penny from every paycheck. Go ahead.
Michael Bolton did.
Michael, that's right. That's his name was Michael Bolton. Yes.
Yeah, well, at least your name isn't Michael Bolton.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that name.
There was nothing wrong with it until I was about 12 years old, and that no-talent ass clown became famous and started winning Grammys.
Well, why don't you just go by Mike instead of Michael?
No way. Why should I change? He's the one who sucks.
So, yeah, he goes up that plan, and then Peter says, well, how does that work exactly? And he explains it to him, and they pull it off, expecting to get a couple of $1,000s, I think.
In a few years.
In a few years, or whatever. Yeah. And was it the next day?
The weekend. So, come Monday, it was 317,053 or something like that.
You know, corporate accounting is sure as hell gonna notice 305,326.13, Michael.
So they were in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah.
At least they thought they were. They're more trouble than they would have been when they destroyed the copier machine. Copy machine.
I love the music for this whole movie. Like, especially in the beginning when Michael.
He's in the car.
And he's just sitting there, and you would think he would be listening to, like, Michael Bolton. And then he's just listening to Tupac. Mm-hmm. And then the dude with the flowers comes walking by, and he turns the music down and starts mumbling and then locks the door.
Like he's a badass, and this is he walks by. He turns the music back up and starts rocking to it.
Got this gangster up inside of me.
Yes, hey, gangster. It's just
I
a
ain't
really
talk to my mama, so I write in my diary.
That's really good. That's really good.
And then God, It Feels Good to Be a Gangsta was playing when they're destroying the fax machine. You get the PC load letter. What the fuck does that mean? Like, that is one of the greatest. Like, this movie is so quotable.
It is.
It's ridiculous, and people probably quote it all the time. And then they're like,
I have no idea
"Where'd you get that from?" Oh,
yeah.
I just heard it somewhere.
Exactly, and working in an office to understand the whole thing about that damn copy machine, it's like it's not connected to the network. I'm not sure if that was part of this movie or not, because it was, I think. And like, wait a minute, it was just connected to the network. It was just connected. Before, I was printing stuff, and now it's not connected. And then it gets connected, and it says paper jam. There's no paper jam.
Yeah, what the paper jam? There is no fucking paper jam.
I've cleared the paper jam. Shut the door. Door 2. Door 2 is shut.
No, but you shut the wrong door 2. They're talking about the internal door 2.
Oh, it was so when I saw that scene for the very first time actually watching it, that's where I got hooked on this movie. Because these two got a baseball bat. They're holding the foot so they can slam it down on the copper.
Yeah.
Better. They were so mad at that thing.
They seemed like they were literally pissed off. Like the fact that everybody seemingly it seemed like they had worked together for at least like a few months to a year. Like that kind of, they developed and designed it, and we're missing a huge part of this is Milton.
We'll get to it. Oh yeah, Milton, yeah.
And the cake, where they're passing out the cake, and they're like, "Now Milton,
gotta pass it on."
Yeah, gotta pass it on, so make sure everybody gets a piece.
My piece of cake. I never get my cake, and I don't get no cake. It's like he's like, you just were like, "Oh God, Milton, here's the cake."
Yeah, here's a piece. You just have mine.
Yeah, exactly. Come sit in my cubicle, because they kept moving. Because if I remember correctly, I know I just watched it, but he got fired. God knows how long ago.
Yep.
But he wouldn't leave.
Yeah, there was a
They
glitch
just kept
in
moving
payroll.
his desk. What?
There was a glitch in payroll.
Yeah.
So he just kept getting paid, so he kept showing up, and nobody told him that he was fired or let go.
Right.
So they fixed the glitch.
And they moved him down to the basement.
Yeah.
And he got this not sling blade. Yes, one of those.
The red Swingline stapler.
Swingline, same one here. Very, very hard thing. I believe Simmons has one too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one, and I'm wondering, was that an actual stapler or that something that came because of this movie?
That's a great question. I would imagine that Swingline had red ones, but probably not very many. I
don't know if Swingline was actually a stapler before this movie. That's what I'm saying. Did they?
Oh, Swingline, yeah, absolutely. Had to have been. I don't know for certain, and I'm sure if somebody wants to drop a comment and let us know, if Swingline was a thing. I know we can look it up, but we'd rather you look it up.
We'd rather you look it up. And also tell us, if you've seen Superman 3, who did it better? Who had the better, who pulled off the heist better? The bad guys in Superman 3 are these guys, because it's the same heist. And in Superman 3 and this one, there's 3 people also. Well, there's 4 in the Superman one. But, I'm wondering if it's like the kin to those folks. I wonder if this is a universe. Office Space and Superman are the same universe.
I don't.
No?
I mean, no. I mean, yes, but no. They're both just in a universe, so it doesn't really, I don't know.
But I liked it. Oh, and one of the things that Nate used to love saying all the time, he hasn't probably done this on the show, but it came from this movie. Jump to conclusions, Matt.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and put your jump to conclusions mat away and just listen to me for a second.
Yes. It's because that dude, it was a terrible thing going on in that film. They're letting everyone go. They're downsizing, firing people. And that's a real problem. People, when they didn't make fun of it, but they made light of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what you gonna do? And like I said, we've been talking now 10, 15 minutes about this movie, and we only brought Jennifer Aniston because I said the reason we watched it because my wife at the time loved Jennifer Aniston. She's
not really significant, but she does shed the agony of working in restaurant food industries.
She does.
Having to have 15 pieces of flair. If you want me to wear 37 pieces of flair, then make the fucking minimum 37 pieces of fucking flair.
Exactly. He's like, don't you want to express yourself? He's like, yes, I do. I do want to. There it is. There's my flare. She has the worst finger ever of someone flipping someone off. I was like, it looks so.
It's so long.
It is so long. It's like, what is this? It's like she has her hand like this or something. It's weird to me.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck you. You see
I
that?
do this. I do that with the. Am I allowed to show this on YouTube? I'll blur it out. It'll be okay.
No, you're not. I'm doing the editing on this one.
We both edit.
But anyway.
But she she got together with him. They dated for a bit. She got mad, or he got mad because they found out she fucked Lundberg
fucked her.
Yeah, but it was a different one. But Peter didn't realize that. Peter broke up with her because, like, how the hell would you, like, I don't care about who you slept with, but you slept with a guy like that? Yeah. I mean, I might have done that too. I might have told her, no, I can't sleep with someone that I know who has slept with that kind of guy. But I'm shallow. I don't like cankles. So.
I don't know if that would bother me. Probably not it's not a deal breaker in this book of mine that I would write if I had a book. But yeah, no, yeah, who cares? I love Lawrence. You know,
yes,
the party's like, Peter's like, hey Lawrence, you want to come over? And he's like, no, man, I'm good. I don't want you to fuck up my life.
Yeah, I know. It's great because he's like, hey Lawrence, you there? Yep. You want to come over? No, man. Don't just fuck up my life, dude. He kind of says it under his breath, but loud enough. Oh, but at the end, the wonderful end, because I've watched it so many times, I didn't like watch it this time. You know, I just had it on while I was paying attention to it, playing on my phone. How did the fire start in the office?
Oh, it was definitely Milton.
Okay, yeah. Well, I know Milton got the money because they got the money of $300,000 back together, and they gave it back to the company. They kind of put it under a door somewhere.
Yeah, they put it under Lundberg's office, or Peter did, saying that it was all him.
Right.
And returned the money.
Right, and then, but then, what's his name?
Milton.
Milton was there, but he's the one who started the fire because he was there. He walked out with the fire.
I mean, that's
with the money. Right.
So this is my assumption is because they don't show it, but they kind of allude to it because he mentions my traveler's checks when he's in the Bahamas or wherever. But he walks into the office, he steps on the envelope, then he grabs, and then it cuts away. So the assumption to us, the viewer, is he sees it on the pond walking out, looks at it, grabs it, and then goes down to his basement office, lights it, and walks away.
Yeah, that makes sense. And out of all the characters on that show, no one deserved that money more than Milton.
Oh, Milton. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Poor man. Well, you all heard what we thought about this movie. Why don't we get in and see what some other people thought about this movie? Let's get into the 5-star and 1-star reviews. Starting it off, unfortunately, all these are unknown. Upon hearing that I've never seen Office Space, a friend of mine immediately drove to the rental place. After watching it once with him, I took it home and watched it 2 more times before it had to go back. Love, Ron Livingston is my pretend boyfriend.
I don't know when this was written, but it had to be a while back because you don't drive to a rental place to rent movies anymore. I'm already mad at this comment. It's unoriginal. It was an unoriginal, downright disgusting film. 2 minutes in, and we are smacked in the face with racist and imaginative stereotypes of not only African Americans, but Middle Eastern people as well. That wasn't okay. It's clear why this horrible high school film project of a movie has stayed in the 2000s. we should go into the next one because I don't want to get canceled for what I'm about to say here.
Up next is another unknown. Absolutely one of my all-time favorite movies. The Office grind is most definitely hysterical and tedious at times. It's a cult classic for a reason. You should like it. Unless you have a case of the Mondays on a daily, then I pity you.
He's going to get his ass kicked too for even typing it. Here's the next unknown 1-star. This one reminds me of when my finger poked through the toilet paper and I got shit on it. I had a smell and it definitely caused a reflex action of avoidance. So just like the smell of real shit, avoid. You know, that was very clever. That was clever, so I liked it.
Oh, it was very clever, but man, that's a harsh review. The last 5-star is, again, unknown. One of my all-time favorite movies. It's a classic. I saw this movie in the theater shortly after quitting my job at Fridays by throwing my apron on the floor and telling the manager to suck it. Needless to say, I could relate to this movie. LOL.
At least the Jennifer Aniston character part. Do you think this helped, like, the movie Waiting? Because they came out before Waiting, and just that part, like, they go, hey, that's a good idea. Let's take that and make that into a whole movie.
You know, I wouldn't be shocked if this movie was an inspiration for Waiting. Though I believe Waiting is based on an actual true story, or 2 actual guys that worked in a restaurant and did a lot of those things.
Oh, okay.
Which is disturbing.
It's very disturbing. That's the reason I don't go to restaurants except for 15 times a week. So, the last 1-star review. I want the 1.5 hours of my life back. Why I ever watched it from start to finish, and why also did Jennifer Aniston sign up for such a crap film? Don't waste your time with it. First and foremost, Jennifer Aniston wasn't Jennifer Aniston when she signed up for this film.
No. This was in 99.
Yeah, this
Friends,
is before Friends.
Friends was in the 2000s?
It was 99, so it was after Friends, because Friends has been out since 97.
Okay, so yeah.
But she still wasn't that big of an actress.
No, not really.
She was trying to break into movies at this point.
Right. This is was the furthest review that the Rotten Tomatoes would let me go back to. It was an unknown 3-star from July 12th, 2008. Another film where all the reviews I had read were really good, and although it's definitely not a crap film, I should learn not to listen to the reviews quite so much. You ready to find out what Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this movie? Rotten Tomatoes rated this movie at 81%, while the audience, that would be you, the viewer, rated this movie at 93%.
I think you're lying.
I'm not.
Wow.
First off, I will go ahead and say I will absolutely recommend this movie to anybody I ever see. I always recommend this movie. I would recommend it to my surgeon. I'll recommend it to your surgeon. I'll recommend it to anybody, even my worst enemy. I'd recommend this movie to. That's how much this movie is fantastic. It definitely captures the Office spirit. With that, I firmly stand ground at 3 trees and a stump.
You know, see, that is fair. And I've noticed something about Nate's ranking and stuff. He likes to add that half a stump because, like, this one's just almost just so good. Just you want to push it, but you can't give him that extra one, so you give him that half one.
I wanted to give it a 4. I really did, but I just, heart of hearts, I was like, nah, it's a 3 in the tree. 3 in the stump.
I love this movie too. I would recommend it to anyone but my worst enemy, because my worst enemy does not deserve to watch this film. And everything you said is correct, but I'm not gonna go as high as you did on this movie. I'm trying to study my bias of this movie. Acting was fine. I'm gonna give it 3 trees.
You know, that's fair.
I never give 3 trees.
Those were our ratings of this movie. What do you rate this movie as? How many trees, how many stumps do you say? Why don't you go ahead and drop those in the comments below. Be sure to give a like and a follow if you haven't subscribed, so drop that subscribe. I've been Nate. That's been Jason. This has been Trees in Space Reviews. Office Space.